So you guys have selected 3 blogs to be contributors to syndicate onto the New York Times technology page. Tell us a little about those blogs and why you've selected them.
Well, in addition to the expanded content we're doing in-house, we're going to have partner relationships with 3 of the best technology blogs on the web. We're working with VentureBeat and GigaOM and ReadWriteWeb. And then we have an existing partnership with IDG News Service. So really it's going to give us 4 partner news sources. And I say news sources deliberately. I mean, they are blogs, but these are blogs that are sort of dedicated to doing news quality coverage. And we think they will really fill out the coverage that we do.
Tell us how the post gets selected from the source, from these 3 source blogs, and does everything come from their blogs onto the New York Times page? And after they surface onto the New York Times page, when you click a headline, what do you see?
Well, they'll each have a little module on the technology pages and with about 5 stories at any given time. And they will be feeding them to us, roughly half of their stories. We've asked them to sort of pick the best of the best and send those out to us. And they'll just be constantly refreshed as they're publishing stories all day long. And if you click through to it, you'll go to a Times web page with the full text of the story and links back to their site if you want to go back to their site, or back to our technology coverage if you want to see more of our technology coverage.
The tech staff has been expanding recently and you're hiring more, I understand. Tell us a little about the kinds of people you're hiring, the beats that they're going to be covering, and where their stories will be showing up.
Well, we have hired 2 reporters so far, and we're going to be hiring a 3rd soon. The 2 reporters that we've hired, Ashley Vance, covering enterprise technology. It's the first time that Times has had a reporter covering specifically enterprise technology. And we decided enterprise technology, basically technology that businesses use to make their businesses run better, was an area that we have a smart, literate readership and they would want to see more coverage of, and they weren't turning to us for that kind of coverage. And Ashley we hired from an online news site called The Register, based in the UK, but he's been out in Silicon Valley for quite a while, and he really understands the subject matter, and yet since he came from the web side of the world, he has a little bit lighter tone. It doesn't read like some of the trade magazines sometimes have a really serious, dry kind of tone. So we think we sort of hit the sweet spot on enterprise technology with him. Our other new reporter, Claire Miller, came to us from Forbes magazine and was their venture capital reporter over there, covered startups, helped put together their top 100 list of venture capitalists every year. And she is a real firebrand. She's sort of finding startups in every sector of, from biotech to green startups, and doing a lot of Web 2.0 startups. And so we think putting more attention on startups is a way to give our readers an advanced look at companies that maybe aren't big enough to warrant a story in the New York Times yet, because once we put it in the Times, it seems to give it a level of attention that maybe we don't want it to get. So we put it on the blog, and it's a way to highlight interesting companies without saying this company's going to change the world.
So you used to be at the San Jose Mercury News, and you were Matt Marshall's editor back in the day.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Matt and the other bloggers, what they bring to the paper.
I think it's great. I think that what's going to keep journalism alive is entrepreneurs going out, like O'Malley, who I also knew. I didn't work with him directly, but he started GigaOM. Matt Marshall started VentureBeat. Journalists who are committed to doing, just the journalism and not having to deal with the infrastructure of print and running lean, focusing on certain topics, niche topics where there's a demand. I think that's the wave of the future, and I think partnering with them is part of the wave of the future for organizations like the Times. We can't cover everything at the level of depth and breadth that they cover. We're going to pick our shots on stories. We're looking for trend stories. We're looking for how does technology affect society. They're doing more, how does this startup really work? How does this search engine really work?
Tell us about the what you see as the fallout, what you're hearing for the fallout from the whole Wall Street mess on technology, particularly venture capital and innovation and funding and where that's going right now, and if there is or not an impact from all this sort of craziness in Wall Street?
You know, we were talking about that last week, and we have seen no sign yet. And the venture capitalists that we've talked to have said they have lots of money to invest in companies, and they're not affected by the rumblings on Wall Street right now. So I think that, you know, we're still going to see small companies get funded if they have a good idea. Will we see, you know, a shakeout in maybe some sectors that have too many people trying to pitch an idea? Yeah, maybe. I mean, we had a piece on our blog last week about, are there too many Web 2.0 social networking services? I mean, I get pitched personally like 2 or 3 a week, and I don't even look at most of them. It's like, I already have enough, you know, one that's geared to some, you know, other niche I have no interest in. And, you know, a lot of those companies may have trouble getting funding because there's, you know, how many social networking services can survive. But broadly speaking, there's still lots of money for funding innovation.